After years of preparation and training, athletes based around the world have come together to represent their nations in the heart of Southeast Asia. And as the horse flights land, the sense of anticipation across the region has grown. At the magnificent Thai Polo Club grounds in Pattaya, Thailand, Asian athletes have the opportunity to represent their nations in the 3 Olympic disciplines of dressage, eventing and jumping at the first Asian Championships. Hello and welcome to the Thai Polo Club for the second day of jumping. Today it is day 1 of Nations Cup. We had the individual first round yesterday and that sets the championship score for each of our riders. Today those riders as part of teams bring those scores forward to this Nations Cup format run over 2 days. Team medals will be decided and awarded later this week, coming after tomorrow's round of jumping. I'm John Kyle, delighted to be here from Pattaya for these first Asian Championships, and joining us on the team this year, Bobby Haler. Bobby, where are you?
I am down here at the Inn Gate today for the second day of jumping, where I will be catching up with some of the riders later. But right now, next to me, I have 2-time course Olympian course designer, Olof Peterson. So, Olof, you saw a lot of combinations yesterday in your first design. Now, how have you designed these jumps today?
Well, today I work with a higher quality. Yesterday I had 3 double combinations, and today I added a triple combination, which of course are key points in a course.
You've used a lot of colour, and are the horses going to be bothered by this?
Not at all. Life is not black and white. We have a colorful life, and by experience we know that horses are more careful when they have a lot of colors in front of them.
Well, thank you, Olof. Now back to John at the commentary.
Thanks, Bobby, and great for the athletes here at these first Asian Championships to have a designer of the caliber of Olof Pedersen here for the duration of this important championship week. Well, yesterday we had our first day of jumping, the Table C competition that sets the conditions for the week ahead. And it was for Q8. The individual medalists from last year's Asian Games, Ali Al-Kharafi and Ewout K, who were faster than anyone else, in fact faster by 4 seconds than anyone else, really setting the advantage. And the Q80s had a great day, putting themselves in front of the team competition on the scores that they carry forward. So here at the Thai Polo Club at Pattaya, it's actually a little bit cooler than it has been due to a little bit breezier today, so 25 degrees C when we've been up in the 30s so far. So just the high 70s in terms of Fahrenheit so far for us here today, but we've got a big jumping class to come, and that is certainly going to make the sport action red hot. Second in the championships at the moment, Taizo Sukatani is actually going to lead us off. Individuals there for Ella Wang, 4th in the championships, Adel Keshavaz for Iran. We start the second team rider rotation then with Yara Al-Hunaidi, and then go on to Colin Sikia for the Philippines. We've also then got, after our Korean rider, we swap over to the third rider rotation. We're going to wrap up the day with Bahrain, Saeed Adnan Al-Alawi with Balu Yu, also riding as an individual in these championships. We have 6 teams contesting the championships. Q8 are our leading team after day 1 on 7.36. Hong Kong not very far behind on 10.55, with Uzbekistan on 11.98. Team also, of course, for the home side of Thailand.
Let's take a quick look at what faces them and what Olof Petersen, our Olympic course designer, has in store here.
Well, we heard from him already. Olaf Pedersen of Germany is our course designer. He sets quite a long first round Nations Cup track of 85 seconds, 13 obstacles, 16 jumping efforts, and our specification here for these championships, meter 40 in height.
At fence number number 2. Then left-handed down the bending line to the double.
Let's have a look at the course in a little bit of detail. They're going to jump up the ring away from the in-gate and towards the big screen over these Asian horsehead oxer. Again, he just introduces them to the course with a little bit of an ascending oxer before turning them back here straight away onto a metre-40 vertical, the BMW fence. They're going to ride 9 or 10 strides, just slightly horse dependent, down to the Oriental fans, the double with a 2-stride double there at number 3. The decorated pillars at number 4, they then have to go around behind what is the final fence to this related distance line. The temple, and then 4 forward strides to the elephants at 6. Then again, just in front of the big screen, and I keep mentioning that because it can be very influential for those horses that are not so experienced at the championship level. In over the vertical, 5 or 6 strides to the triple combination. I think a lot are going to go on 5, and it's 1 stride, vertical, oxer, vertical. Around then to the Oriental gong at 9, again a big square oxer, that is the full of everything, metre 35 high, metre 35 wide, and then a dog leg before suddenly exposed to them is the big open water. They'll charge at that, then they need to balance everything back up, turning back around to the next questions. At number 11, the triple bar with the dragons, and then coming up quickly after it is the temple profile. Maybe on 6 strides they could maybe find an inside 5. 7 strides down to the last, the B Grimm are supporting sponsors, big oxer at metre 35 square. So there's the scene just out behind us here at the jury box as the athletes get ready to come forward, just finishing their warm-up. They have several warm-up options for flattening the horses before they come to that final jumping warm-up. And there's our first horse and rider combination waiting to go here today in the second day of competition. So there are 4 days of individual competition. This class is day 2 of individual, but it's day 1 of team. But the teams do carry forward the scores that their individual athletes accrued yesterday in the Table C.
While the stage is set, we get underway with the man who finished ranked 2nd yesterday. He comes back, he is definitely...
So Taizo Sugatani is our first to go. Taizo on a championship score of 2.01. He lies 2nd in the championship so far. Taizo represented his country 6 times at the Olympic level, 6 times at the World Games as well, and twice at the World Cup finals. He's had a very good summer with this horse as well, Erwin de Meuse, and he is here with the eyes on the ultimate prize of individual gold come Sunday afternoon. 2 rounds of jumping on Sunday for the individual final, but of course the first task is to get there, and get there on the lowest possible championship penalty score. I think the rest of the riders will be very, very pleased to see a rider of the caliber of Taizo, who made yesterday just look so easy, come in and trailblaze this course. And you can see there from the seahorses in the Asian colours how much effort has gone into the decoration and scene setting of these championships. Goes on the 10 and clear through the double. This now, a lot of riders are just going to have to energize the horse a little bit after that double, coming to the decorated pillars off the in-gate. Gets up there on the 4 and actually comes up a little bit short for this big horse. Erwin de Meuse, the mare by Tinker's Boy. Easy through the gymnastic exercise of the triple. Vertical oxer, vertical, 1 stride distances. Taizo did very well. He landed over the gongs and then rode the dog leg incredibly positively, but didn't override it. A lot of people really override the water, and it starts to put a genie in the horse's mind about that particular fence. Comfortably inside the time allowed of 85 seconds, so that is 0 today for Taizo Sugatani, and it is 0 to add, so he stays on a championship score of 2.01.
Very good contention for an individual medal here at the FEI Asian Championships in Pattaya 2019. Quick reminder of that time is 1:17.85. 5 seconds, and we saw title ranks in 78.05. So that gives us an idea of how much of a test the time allowed is. We head to the first of our team riders now. That takes us to Kuwait.
We're going on for the Kuwaiti team now. Dalia Al-Zaham with Richebourg de Jusclay by l'Arc de Triomphe. A championship score of 4.66 for Dalia, has her outside the top 10, but she is part of the Kuwaiti team that are currently leading the team competition as this Nations Cup opens up. 7.36 is the score for the Kuwaiti riders. Just moving down there a little bit freer to the double than maybe we saw Thaiso. Thaiso was comfortably inside the time. I don't think the time is going to be influential today. I don't think Olaf Pedersen wants it to be influential today on day one of the team championships. He might squeeze it up a little bit tomorrow, but he's got a very fine balance to tread. He'll have come here with a plan, a philosophy right the way through to his gold medal final and potential jump off on Sunday. But he sees the horse and rider combinations. He'll be very familiar with them just through his observation of the sport. But having watched them jump the table C yesterday, he will have made those few adjustments to his overall long-term plan. Dalia, you just saw there landing over the gongs and then moving out a little bit further left. Unfortunately, that's a foot in the water, so that is 4 to add. Five strides then to the temple. It comes with her. So on 8. Over the last, just inside the time allowed, it's 8 to add, so it's 12.66 for Richebourg de Jusclay and Dalia Al-Zaham in the individual championships. They were the discard score for their nation so far, and they'll be hoping that remains the case. So no change to the Kuwaiti score of 7.36 so far.
Running here individually, and also, of course, for Team Kuwait.
So 12.66 is the score.
Uzbekistan, and a rider who's been campaigning on the World Cup circuit, on the Nations Cup circuit as well, individually carrying 4.09, and part of the team for Uzbekistan. Umid Kamilov and Chikabu are next to go.
Well, next to go, lying 9th in the championships on 4.09, riding Chikabu, Umid Kamilov for Uzbekistan. The Uzbeks in a good position as well in terms of team scores. The Uzbeks are our third best team in terms of their individual riders' scores. And on 4.09, Umid is a counting score so far. Sedemirkan Turgenbov is their discard score so far. It's a tough old turn back from the decorated pillars up to the start of that line, and that pole goes for Umid Kamilov. They're all dealing very well with the triple combination. So far, it's pretty early days. Look how close Umid came to that on his approach to the gongs, and again, another rider just pushing out a little bit left. Yeah, it is going going to have broken the tape on the water. So that's 8 faults there for Umid. Our second fault in the water already in this Nations Cup. And into time as well, so it is 9 in all to add for Umid Kamilov and Chikabu, and that is going to put them on 13.09.
On day number 4 of the FEI Asian Championships Pattaya 2019. Eloan's next then. She finished 4th individually yesterday. Kodama D's the horse she brings forward. It's 5 p.m. to Ravel. Sits on 2.31 penalties and rides here as an individual rider.
So no changes yet to Uzbekistan's team score of 11.98. But they would be hoping that they are going to be able to discard the 13.09 for Umid Kamilov. Well, lying 4th in the championships now, Elawang. Yunying Elawang, based in Europe. Won the 6 bar at the Hong Kong Masters with this horse earlier this year. Elawang and Kidamia D by Kidam de Revel. 2.31 is the championship score for Ella. Just gets that sudden drift to the right over the first. Just a break in pace here coming around to number 2 as well. Just taking a little bit of a reset, really. You see how on that turn, at the one stage they're close to the decorative pillars, the other stage they're going right out to the triple combination before they're able to find a good line up that related distance. On the 5-stride distance there, this horse keeps shifting right on her. Actually, it's okay through the triple combination. I thought that might have been her undoing. And again, that shifting right, it doesn't occur, but shifting right obviously is going to increase the linear distance across the wide fence like the water. It's going to increase the linear distance across a wide fence like this triple bar. And out over the last, Ella Wang is going to be on a very good score, going to stay on her championship score of 2.31.
The second time out for that here in the FEI Asian Championships.
So 2.31 the score for Ella Wang after 2 days of jumping. So 2 of our very well-placed riders jumping clear, Taizo Sugatani and now Yunying Ella Wang, in terms of their individual progress to Sunday. Neither of them riding here for a team.
Plenty of talent still to see, about 27 combinations left to come forward here in this one. Adele Keshavar's next, Classic 47, another athlete who's been campaigning in and around Europe. This one's up nicely in Cronenberg a little bit earlier in the year.
For Iran now, another individual, Adele Keshavars, with Classic 47, this mare by Captain Fire. 9.53 the championship score for the Iranian individual who's been jumping to this level, meter 40 in Europe. Had a very successful Tehran series of shows, including up to the World Cup level. Yeah, not surprised to see them get there on 9. They were quite visibly inside the walked distance. You can see where all the athletes were walking on foot earlier on. Again, that line on the long side of the arena jumping very well so far from number of strong individuals. First team riders for the nation. The tendency is that the first team riders are the ones who are very, very likely to go out and get clear and get their teams off to a great start. We see that again and again in Nations Cup jumping. And another one just caught out by the clock at El Kashabaz and Classic 4-7. It's clear for jumping 1 for time, so 10.53 now becomes their championship score.
So far, that's 2 clears, 1 time for 108 and 109. That's our fresh 5 fair with the Pearson design track here at the FEI Asian Championships Pattaya 2019. Hong Kong, China's where we go next, and another of the athletes that have risen to an Olympic level. We saw him at the Games in Beijing, and he's part of the team that was sitting silver after their first outing yesterday. Marianne CR, Patrick Lam for Hong Kong, China.
So we've seen team riders so far for Kuwait and Uzbekistan. Here now is our third team getting underway, and it's Hong Kong with Patrick Lam. Patrick with Claron CR by Clearway. Patrick lies 7th in the championships in his own right. Hong Kong lying 2nd as a team in terms of scores so far. Team score of 10.55. Counting score riders for Hong Kong, 3 of them inside the top 10 individually, top 11. So Patrick Lam at these championships also jumping and competing in the eventing. Rode this horse at the Olympic Games show jumping qualifier in Valkenswaard, the Netherlands this year. And a show jumping Olympian back in 2008. He's been an eventer to the Asian Games level. And rode for Hong Kong in the eventing Olympic qualifier at Saumur in France this year as well. Just got a bit held up in the corner. Patrick then powers away down this triple combination line. He rattles the middle rail on the oxer, but it stays in place. So Patrick just setting up for his final line here. It starts with the triple bar. Well, riding the forward 5 there. The forward 5 unfortunately just means he takes the top rail off the vertical. He also has the last down, so it's 8 to add, and that is going to drop Patrick Lam almost certainly out of the individual top 10, and he moves now to a championship score of 11.48.
Standing by, we're about to head towards the home nation for the first time here. Got the board where we can just see a couple of replays of Patrick Lam's round. Just taking that ultimate fence and then really trying to set up down the distance. But we move now to Thailand.
So for the Thai team now, the first of their riders, 23-year-old Sengsaw Letratanachai and Kuvil L. Letratanachai on a championship score of 12.53 as an individual. Thailand on a score of 71.65. A tough old day for them yesterday on day 1. So Sengso Lethatanachai just hoping to improve on the performance yesterday. Lethatanachai 12.53, the best of the Thai riders. And again, just like you expect, going in as #1 for her nation. Often chosen by the chef to keep to be the most likely to deliver the clear and therefore give that confidence to the remaining riders to come. This would be a very positive comeback for Sengso. You even just see her head and eyes look over to the left like that's the way she's going to go. They all want to create a little bit of space after the gong jump, going out towards the first, the Oriental fans, to get their line up to the water. But by doing that, you're going that little bit extra distance. We've seen a few fall foul of the 85 seconds time allowed, and we're going to see another one here in Sengso Lethatanachai. It's clear for jumping, it's 1 for time. Those time penalties coming in at the rate of 1 for each 4-second period over the time allowed. So 13.53 will be the score for Sengso Lethatanachai in terms of the championship.
Towards that final line, in real shape, just having that one-time fall. But we head on to Grimm. Grimm and Aragon represents Indonesia. He's jumping over in Europe with his horse up until very recently, actually. Just came over on the charter about a week and a half ago. But last time in Kronenberg, this horse was on fine form. Aragon Savoy and Grimm carries a score of 8.99 for Indonesia.
So now on course, Brian Bratakulen and Aragon Savoy. 8.99 the championship score for the Indonesian individual. So just coming into the double there on that tight inside line, we've got a knockdown. We've also got just a little bit of a saddlery failure here. You can see the martingale dangling around between the horse's leg, and that can really just knock their concentration as well and can turn into a couple more poles on course. So coming up to the final line, 85 seconds doesn't really look doable from here. So coming home with 4 and time faults. Clear of the big rim last. No, it goes. It's 8 for jumping, 1 for time for Aragon Savoy and Brian Bratakulen for Indonesia. So it will be 9 to add, and that is going to put them on 17.99 as the championship score.
He's wearing a stud guard and those martingales attached underneath. It looks like he just came a little bit loose as he started his round. I think that had a bit of a knock-on effect with the communication between him. #1. Sorts of 9 here today. You can see in the replays there, he really struggled just to try and keep the horse listening, to try and keep it straight. He just had a couple of rails down on his way round. That was a new horse for him actually, just an 8-year-old. This is another reel. It's a brand new ride, in fact. It's one by the Morocco Blue. It's one that we've never really seen Jehong Park campaign before, but we've seen him on many horses over the years. The horse is called Gabriel B. They sit on 14.
Well, next to go for Korea, a rider who was a team silver medalist at the Asian Games in Doha in 2006. Gabriel B and Jehong Park. Individual score of 14.87 in these championships for the Korean rider Jehong Park. One of the counting scores towards Korea's score of 28.68. So disobedience there coming into the double is an early 4-4, and of course that clock keeps ticking as well. They just have one chance remaining. 2 disobediences is elimination. Well, unfortunately, it is elimination for the number 1 to go today for Korea, Jehong Park with Gabriel B. And that concludes the first rider rotation.
It is elimination. See the replay there as I'm trying to just not liking it at all. So the stage is the stage times for Pattaya, L1. Those athletes do carry forward penalties. They accumulated yesterday for the first competition. 22 partnerships left to come forward in this one. And we're going to be going back to Indonesia.
So now,
This is a building.
Denise Christian Sanyaya with Barker van der Valkenburg for Indonesia, an individual rider for Indonesia at these championships. Denise, part of the gold medal team for Indonesia at the Southeast Asian Games back in 2011, riding this horse for 2 years and had some very good results in Europe, including a top 10 in an international Grand Prix in the Netherlands in October. So turning to the long line, including this triple combination. Just taps the middle part of the triple, the oxer, coming up to the gong, still on a clear at the moment for Sanyaya. And 9.05. Actually, surprisingly far down the order. There's just the cost of a pole covering the entire top 10 in the individual championships here after day one, the table C. Sanyaya just going to have the last there down for 4/4. So a championship score now of 13.05.
Denise Christian Sanyaya and Baraka van der Valkenburg finishing on a score of 4 now for Indonesia. Jumped nicely all the way around as well. Just takes down that rail. See how well he jumps the water in the replay. Really sets it up nicely. Tries to take that minor check down towards the final fence, but just catches the rail and finishes on the 4.
Another individual rider for Iran, following in the footsteps of Adel Kejavaz earlier on. This is Farhang Sadeghi. Farhang with quick and step bike contender. One of those who didn't complete yesterday, so getting that maximum score of 39.56 in the championship. Farhang will just be trying to ride for completion today. Individual rider needs to carry on in the competition if he has any hope of featuring in Sunday's individual final. And after not completing yesterday, Farhang, you know, it's a little bit into new ground. He's just not ever really getting the rideability he wants. They're not settling in as a unit, this pair. They're the first to have the decorated pillars down just in front of the jury box, so carrying that early four. Goes right up into the corner of the ring before pushing on down this line. Clear all the way. It would have been very close to the tape. Just the way this horse is going, it wouldn't necessarily feel natural for it to really reach out. It's not the way it's jumping, it's very much up in the air in the way its pace goes. He's just going to come down on that one back rail by the looks of things. He's cleared the last, he's inside the time, just 4 to add for Farhang Sadeghi and quick and step, so 4 today, and that is going to be a championship score of 43.56.
You can see our next athlete just having a little look at the water. And head back to the QSC now. They are leading coming forward into today. Yara is a great athlete. And representative joins us today on the score of a 4.34.
All for Q8, Yara Al-Hunaidi and Karavari. Yara, who's lying 10th in the championships on 4.34 penalties. So unfortunately, an early rail here for Yara, and this is going to change, you know, Q8's team score. Their discard, Dalia Al-Zahem, with Richburg de Justley, has come in, jumped for 8. They're hoping for clears from their such well-placed riders, all inside the top 10, Yara Al-Hunaidi, Abdullah Al-Rudan, and Ali Al-Karafi. Going to be so disappointed by that early pole. Yara Al-Hunaidi on 4 faults with Karavari. So 8.34 the championship score for Yara, and Q8 now have to carry that 4 faults, so it is a score for the Q80 team of 11.36.
coming next, following not to that category, but he actually represents the Philippines, who finished on a team score yesterday of 15.15. Colin will finish on 6.23 with this horse. The 9-year-old Kentucky.
On to the Philippines. Philippines here with just a team of 3, so all scores count. This is the first rider we see for the Philippines, Colin Sikia and Chanel 1 by Katoki. Championship score for Colin in his own right of 6.23. Well, first major problem inside the triple combination. So Colin Sikia and Channel 1 picking up 4 penalties inside there. Still the open water in the final line to come for the Filipino rider. And with only 3 members of their team, that 4 faults will go directly onto their team score. Philippines went too badly, lying 4th of the 6 teams on 15.15 after day 1 of competition. Time should be okay. Colin Sikia clears the B Grimm last, 84.07 on the clock. So it is 4 faults, and that puts his team up to 19.15, and Colin in his own right up to 10.23.
And we're about to head to one of the youngest athletes in the field, who's just 18 years of age. He's been campaigning over in Europe with his string of horses. We've got some very nice young ones at the moment as well. This one's a 10-year-old though, 10-year-old stallion called Kaleko. Siramerkon Subagarov comes next for Uzbekistan on an individual score of 9.7.
So next to go with Kaleko, Sedemerkon Turgenboev, 9.7 penalties for Sedemerkon, part of the Uzbekistani team that were in a very good spot, but unfortunately Umid Kamilov, one of their better scores on day 1, has picked up 9 faults so far today, so it is really now important for Sedemerkon and his teammates to deliver the clears necessary to keep Uzbekistan where they want to be at these championships, going towards those team podiums tomorrow. A very, very difficult final line there for Sedemerkon Turgenboev. So close. The time would have been absolutely fine. It's not what Uzbekistan wanted as a team. For Sedemerkon, it is going to be a 17.7 championship score, and Uzbekistan have to carry those 8 faults, so 19.98 is their team score now after the second rider.
The first competition just yesterday on this stage. Here's an athlete then who's been to World Cup finals, been to World Equestrian Games, and she's been the first rider to represent Hong Kong, China in equestrian jumping at the World Cup finals when she was there in Gothenburg. Good luck to her, Rihanna Leong, or Fendi Granite for Hong Kong.
Next to go for Hong Kong, Rihanna Leong.
4.39.
Rihanna for Hong Kong, with Orphée de Granit just outside the top 10 with a championship score of 4.39. So Hong Kong have a great opportunity actually to pounce now with faults already for Q8 from their first team riders, but Patrick Lam didn't quite get them to start. They would have wanted either with 8 faults. We haven't had very many clears, and there is one of them. It is Rihanna Leong, only our third clear over this course with Orphée de Granit. It's going to stay on 4.39. That will move Rihanna guaranteed up into the individual championship top 10. And it also helps Hong Kong because they can look maybe to discard Patrick Lam's 8 faults today. They stay on 10.55 after the second rider rotation. 2 more riders to go to conclude that second rider rotation and bring us up to the halfway point and the drag break here in Pattaya. Well, Thailand certainly has plenty of young talent coming forwards, and this next athlete definitely falls into that category. 18 years of age, no else there. Karadian for Thailand on a score of 19.56. Number 2 rider for Thailand, Lalina Welser with Karada d'Enfer by Karado. 19.56 the championship score for this rider as an individual, and as we mentioned, Thailand unfortunately a little bit off the pace, but Sengso Lethratanachai already jumped around clear earlier, albeit with a single time fault. So a pole for the Thai team rider there early on in the Oriental Fans double. Very, very close to maybe just booting away the wing at the C element as well, which would have been a third fault. They're up to a total of 8 so far for Lalina Welser, Karada d'Enfer. Clear out over the open water, just 3 fences to go. Again, going really deep out to the boards in front of the big screen for this final line. And Olaf has just left that little bit of temptation for them. He really wants them to be in 1 or 2 strides from those boards at some of the end turns to be guaranteed of being inside the time. As you see, Vels is just that little bit close, 84.06 with Corrada d'Enfer. It is 8 faults for Lelina. So a championship score of 27.56 for the Thai rider. And if they are able to subsequently discard that, will be a team score for Thailand of 72.65, counting the one from Sengso Lertatanachai.
One more combination to see, never mind take a very short break to the arena maintenance, then we'll see the remainder of the field. We're going to go to Korea next.
The number 2 rider for the Korean team, Jae Kyung Lee and Pomo, are our next to go by. Lord Z this one. Jae Kyung takes us up to the halfway point on a championship score of 9.24. Korea, where overnight the 5th best of our teams on a score of 28.68. However, Jae Hong Park, the number 1 rider for Korea today, was eliminated. So today, all 3 of their scores will count.
Not slower, not slower.
So clear out over the Elephant's Oxer. Again, you just see a little bit how they're not riding in a great balance through that turn. A lot of horses just losing the hind end. We saw it at the other end of the arena yesterday as well. And those lacks of balance, they can be punished by a technical course, as you'd expect, set out by an Olympic designer like Olaf Pedersen. So Jae Hyung Lee and Pomo, Jae Kyung is going to have the 8 faults to add, and that's 17.24 in terms of a championship total for Jae Kyung. And those 8 faults have to go on to the Korean score as well, so 36.68 is the score now for Korea. So currently Taisa Sukatani is out in front on a championship score of 2.01, Ella Wang on 2.31, Patrick Lam 11.48 is the score for Patrick, Umid Kamilov on 13.09.
So I'm with Ella Wang from China, who's jumped a fantastic clear round already this morning. So Ella, yesterday was all about speed around the course. How did it feel different today?
I think today the course is a little bit more difficult to ride compared to yesterday, and we also have a triple combination inside, and everything comes quite quickly, and we have an open water compared to yesterday, was just like a water with the pole on top. And I think my horse jumped fantastic, and okay, we have a little bit problem because she was a little bit afraid on the side of the audience, but everything worked out. So I think the course was very nice built, and yeah, I think it's everything fine.
When you walked the course this morning, was there any jump that you thought, all right, I have to be slightly careful coming into this?
Yes, like to number 4, the red oxer over there. It comes very quickly after number 3, and number 3 is towards the exit. So for sure the horse was looking to this side, but not to the other side to the jump. And it comes very quickly. So, and it was a funny color, so it's actually not so easy for the horses to see it. But yeah, I mean, like some horses come a little bit deeper, some come a little bit further, but it worked out.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we have an interview from a chef from Hong Kong.
So my role at the championships for Team Hong Kong is the chef to keep for show jumping and coach. We wanted to come to the championship as soon as we heard about it. It's so important for us to represent Asia. So the planning started with pairing up horses and riders together, bringing combinations to the right level, getting their minimum entry requirement for this championship. And believe me, that was only the start because they live all over the world. So we have riders that live in Austria but ride the horses in the UK. We then work through the season in the UK with them, and then after a very long flight, here we are in beautiful Asia. Well, the first thing that we have to do is make sure that the horses are okay after the flight. A lot of the horses that we have here haven't flown that distance. They all flew from Brussels back down to Bangkok, so that was an experience in itself. So we gave them 2 or 3 days just to make sure they were healthy. We have a full veterinary team with us as well. They travelled with the horses and they're now on site 24 hours a day. To have an FEI Championship in this amazing location. This is a world-class location, this polo club. I mean, the facilities are second to none. And to have a championship in Asia that has been recognised to be a full FEI Championship with 3 disciplines in it, there's no replacement for that, getting our riders ready for top level, none at all. And we can't thank all the people that have made this possible enough.
So, Corinne Bracken there, chef to keep for Hong Kong, telling us a little bit more about these championships. We are in the midst of a break on the team day 1 of jumping here from the FEI Asian Championships. So still to come, we've got the likes of Joko Aryo riding second for the Philippines. We go into the 3rd rider rotation. Philippines here though with just a team of 3. Chen of Chinese Taipei here as an individual. We've also got the last there to go for Thailand in Velsa with Stepeto Kistar. We've also got the leading rider of the championships so far, which is going to be Q80 rider Ali Al-Kharafi and Ewut K coming in our next section, and we finish with the rider for Bahrain, Saeed Adnan Al-Alawi and Balu Yu. In terms of the teams, after the first 2 riders, Hong Kong will be our leading team on 10.55, then 11.36 for Q8 and 19.15 for the Philippines, 19.98 for Uzbekistan. As things currently stand, they are our top 4 teams. Again, you just get from this beautiful live drone shot an appreciation of the venue here in Pattaya for these Asian Championships. It really is a magnificent venue. The caliber of anywhere else, they put an enormous amount of effort into it, and I think a lot of the riders, particularly in in show jumping and dressage, have been blown away. Eventing it has its real home here in Pattaya in Thailand. A lot of international events held here, but even from their point of view, the infrastructure development here in preparation for these games has been second to none.
จะให้กลับเลยกลับปีใหม่เปิดร้านนิดนึง
So welcome back to Pattaya, our Asian Championships for show jumping. Day one of the teams getting back underway. We're halfway through the starting field. We've seen the first two riders for each of our 6 teams. We go into the third rider rotation, and we start with the team that had a very good ride on day one as individuals, Q8. Their third rider will be Abdullah Al-Rudan with La Luna, 6th in the championships on 3.02 championship penalties.
No problem. No, it's back. Brilliant, thank you.
So a combination we've seen throughout Europe, the likes of Optlebik, Verbier and Crans-Montana, Verbier and Crans-Montana in Switzerland, Abdullah Al-Rudan and La Luna. 6th in the championships on 3.02 penalties. Kuwait have drifted a little bit off the pace. They've fallen behind Hong Kong after the first 2 riders. They need some clears now. They've got though these 2 good riders, Abdullah Al-Rudan and their last rider to go, Ali Al-Kharafi, who is the individual championship leader so far. So Ali Al-Rudan on course. Abdullah Al-Rudan, my apologies, the 3rd rider for Kuwait, with La Luna by Ludwig van Beeren. So this is a pretty critical round to keep Kuwait right in touch with Hong Kong in terms of challenging for the team gold. So the triple combination line, it's come up well for a lot of riders. It's riding well. We've seen plenty of faults there as well. Over the gong. The gong goes for the very first time for Abdullah Al-Rudan as they come now to the open water. A lot of people have been really shaping a jump to the left. We're going to be seeing some penalties there at the water as well. Yep, 8 faults now coming in on the screen as Ahmed Bedawi, the water jump judge, signals back to the jury. We saw the tape very clearly broken. So Abdullah Al-Rudan is going to be 8 faults. The time allowed 85 seconds doesn't prove problematic for them. So it is 11.02 for Abdullah as that individual score increases. 8 faults also for the Kuwaiti team, and they have to accept those 8 faults. They already had an 8 from Dalia Al-Zaham, so that's going to put them on 19.36 after 3 riders. We would just see this horse. It wasn't just in a great spot. It wasn't really concentrating on its job. 1 or 2 strides out when it absolutely needed to be there for Abdullah. And you see it coming down there and very clearly breaking the tape.
He finished on 15.15 yesterday, and the South individually on 5.22. Joker Arroyo, Abama the Philippines.
Joker Arroyo and Ubama Alia. 5.22 the score in the championship for the Filipino team rider. The Philippines, a team of just 3, but they've come right into the hunt. Indeed, where Joker and Marie-Antoinette Leviste to jump clear their final 2 riders, they would be in at least silver medal position overnight, having been 4th after day 1. Well, that's an unfortunate early problem for Joker, and again, as a team of just 3, they have to accept it. So straight up onto 23 drops them back down to 4th position. Very dynamic team situation here at Pattaya. It's just about 10 penalties separating gold from 4th. 2 other teams, Korea and Thailand, unfortunately a little bit off the pace. Yeah, the water's been pretty influential today. We've seen 3 or 4 record faults of the water, a couple of others very, very close. Oh, it was a very, very fast run from Joker Ario, but the last stand as well is going to be 8 faults, and that is going to drift Joker. Joker was knocking on the door of individual top 10 in the championships, but now it's going to be 13.22 championship faults for Joker, and 8 faults also onto the Filipino team score.
Yulong Chen is our next athlete who represents Chinese Taipei.
So a team score now of 27.15 for the Philippines.
As an individual athlete, Yulong Chen and Vera Zuno for Chinese Taipei.
So now for Chinese Taipei, an individual at these championships, Yulong Chen. Yulong with Evira's Uno by numero uno. 10.58 the championship score for Yulong. So clear to date. The individual riders, you know, they just don't necessarily have the same pressure as riding for their team. And they have, since day one, been going pretty well. But those 4 faults now for Yulong Chen on already a championship score of 10.58 are going to be very, very expensive. We see into-time faults as well. So it's 5 to add today for Yulong Chen, 4 for jumping, 1 for time. And that means it's going to be 15.58 for Yulong on the championship scoreboard.
Let's go back to our team leaders now. The man who's here to represent Uzbekistan, Nazarov, and go for it B. This horse has been on great form yesterday, finished it on 5.63 as an individual. Best of luck to him here today. Nazarov, go for it B.
Well, back to Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan, who were lying well up third overnight, they're still actually in third. 19.98 is the team score. Gerat Nazarov, Gerat with Go For It B. Gerat on a championship score of 5.63. The Uzbeks had a very good first day of jumping here with us at Pattaya. Hasn't just been their day so far, and 9 faults for Umid Kamilov and 8 faults for Sadamerkon Turgenbov. clear out over the water. This could be the Uzbeks' first clear of the day as they come to the final line, and they need it. A couple of good rounds now from the final two Uzbekistan riders would keep them in position for a medal. They just rattled that last. They're going to pick up a time fault. They'll carry that time fault. So 20.98 is now the team score for Gerrit Nazarov, Go For It B and Uzbekistan. Gerrit's own score will also go up by 1 to 6.63.
Jacqueline Lai next then. Confidence 9 is the name of the horse, and this is an athlete that's been to the Olympic Games, to the World Equestrian Games, to the Asian Games, and is just back from campaigning with her string in Europe. Jacqueline Lai,
Youth Olympic Games contender back in 2010, World Games rider as well in Tryon, North Carolina last year. Jacqueline with Confidence 9 by Kornad Obolensky. Another one not too far outside the top 10 of these championships on a score of 5.27. Now Hong Kong want a couple more clears to keep themselves in gold medal position in these championships, and at the Asian Seahorses #1, Jacqueline picks up a pole, so that is expensive. They're still though potentially in gold medal position with that to push Jacqueline further down the individual leaderboard. But if she has no more faults on course, Hong Kong, after the third rider rotation, will still be in gold medal position. Oh, this is a disaster. The Elephants goes as well, so 12 faults so far for Jacqueline Lai. Clear out over the open water, but these 12 faults, it means they're going to have to count Patrick Lamb's score. So after 3 riders, it's 18.55 for Hong Kong, still just out in front, but they've thrown away a large advantage. Coming down towards home, Jacqueline Lai and Confidence, it is going to be 12 faults.
Confidence 978.50 for Hong Kong, China.
So Jacqueline Lai of Hong Kong with Confidence, it's 17.27 individual score. Hong Kong now, after 3 riders, on 18.55. Getting towards the end of the third rider rotation as well. Thailand and Korea to come. Actually, they're just both a little bit off the pace, so let me bring you up to date with the team situation. Hong Kong leading on 18.55 faults. Kuwait in silver on 19.36, 20.98 for Uzbekistan and 27.15 for the Philippines. Well, back now to Thailand. Asivan Het Sonishoff, ridden by Kanyapat Tokamoltham. 39.56 for Kanyapat, unfortunately, again, one of those maximum scores. We've seen a couple of early problems at, the BMW vertical, which starts to ask the real meter 40 question, and at this Oriental fans double on a 2-stride distance. So we see Kanyapat just going out super wide on the way back to the BMW, maybe prepared to dally with a time fault to come in and actually jump a clear. So Kanyapat Tokamaltham and Asivan Het Sonishoff coming to the triple combination line. They jump in over this big vertical. Oh, it just drifts, so she's going to create a little bit of a different distance here on the way to the triple combination, and has the oxer down. Canyon also is going to have the gong stand, so total of 8 faults. So Thailand's score can't be improved. 80.65 will be their score after the third rider rotation. But inside the time, just the 8 faults for Kenyapat Tokamogdam and Asi van Het Sonneshoff, and 80.65 for the team. Asi and Kenyapat in their own right, with those 8 faults to add, are going to find themselves on 47.56 in the championship.
Certainly a lot to like about that round today. Real gymnastic efforts as they're coming.
So say Hong Kong leading team on 18.55 after 3 riders. Thailand on 80.65 after 3 riders. Just about to get the final contender in the third rider rotation. Korea's Hyunjin Lee.
Another one that's been over in Europe. A lot of these athletes, of course, training and competing around the world. This fellow placing very well at Cronenberg just over the last few weeks. Represents Korea riding here as an individual, Hyunjin Lee, with a score of 4.57.
Well, here now is Hyunjin Lee and Caruso. Combination that we've only had together since January in our sport. International class winner, though, in the Netherlands just last month before flying out here to ride at the Asian Championships. Hyunjin Lee and Caruso for Korea. Score of 4.57 for Hyunjin, just outside the top 10 in the championship last night, and therefore a clear could very easily move Hyunjin up into a useful position going forward as an individual. Korea, unfortunately, as a team, 36.68 their score. So they are behind the pace of those top 4 teams in 5th. Hyunjin Lee and Caruso, just a little bit of exuberance from Caruso there after the triple. Hyunjin, just get the horse now back. Concentration to 100%, particularly for this open water. That was an easy judge, unfortunately, there for Ahmed Bedawi, who's out on behalf of the ground jury. It is just the 4. It's the best round so far for the Republic of Korea in this Nations Cup jumping day. It's going to be a team total for them of 40.68 as they bring in those 4 faults from Hyunjin Lee. But Hyunjin as well, disappointingly, is going to be on a championship total now of 8.57, and that will put them outside the top 10 of the championship.
Well, not many left to come. 6 or 7 lads in the field today, and here's the partnership who came out on top yesterday, and that means he starts today with a 0 score, and technically in a gold medal position, but a very early stage for him, and so much pressure on. Ali Akarafi, URK, 48 on a score of 0.
So this is an important round, both for the Q80 team and in terms of our individual championships. So we go into the 4th rider rotation with Q8's Ali Al-Kharafi riding out. Ali is the individual medalist at last year's Asian Games, taking the Asian Games title in Jakarta. Q8 just behind Hong Kong at the moment. It's very, very close between gold and silver at the top of the table. Q8, who had the best score after day one, just drifted that little bit behind, but disappointing third round for Hong Kong a moment ago. Brought things much closer together once again. As the winner yesterday, the leading score, this is our only rider on a championship score of 0. But for instance, the way it's stacked up now, you know, the top 10 yesterday were all on just under a pole behind him. Today, you know, we've had clears from Ella Wang, from Taizo Sugatani, and also from Reanu Leong of Hong Kong. If Ali has a pole, and he has had a pole, he's immediately behind Taizo and Ella Wang. He's just in front of Reanu Leong, and it's 4-4 forward time. 83.93, so it is just the 4 for time. But Q8 have to take that, and it is a completion score after day one of the teams for Q8 of 23.36. Ali Al-Kharafi drifts out to a championship score of 4. That's pretty easy to calculate. No decimal points for Ali as a day one leader. So he's now on a team an individual championship total of 4.
On the score of 3.7, the horses by Stallion called Kingsland Asa. Maria Antoinette for the Philippines on 3.7.
Well, another from inside yesterday's top 10. Marie-Antoinette Leviste with Loribri. Loribri 8th in the championship on 3.7. And this is for the Filipino team. The Philippines, just a team of 3, but they're still mixing it up with the top 4 teams. They could easily end up on the team podium today if they continue to perform as they're currently doing. She's just taken a circle here between 2 and 3, so that's 4 faults. Don't entirely know what caused that. We didn't get to see it on our cameras, but again, this is a rider who's just going to tumble outside of the top 10 because of that. There was a reaction from the crowd. I don't know if one of the arena party maybe was in the double. Real big rub there in the middle of the triple combination, but actually rode the 5-stride distance down to it beautifully. The gongs go, so that definitely puts her on a full 4 faults. But of course, carrying the 8 because of the circle on the way down. Was on just a 3.7 score, and of course these 8 faults have to go onto the Filipino score as well. And of course, having turned a circle, Marie-Antoinette Leviste will not be inside the time allowed of 85 seconds. So here we are, 10 faults, 13.7 for Marie-Antoinette.
19.26, finishes on 10 total.
So a Filipino score now of 10 for Marie-Antoinette Leviste and Loribri. So going to put her on 13.7, and it's 37.15 for the Philippines after day one of the team championships. And now Korea are only just behind that, so Korea could easily snatch overnight 4th position as a result of that problematic round there for the Philippines. Well, a clear round now could put Uzbekistan in a minimum of silver medal position overnight, as we welcome forward the rider who was 3rd yesterday, Azam Tobiev. Championship score of 2.26 for Azam, riding Roxy Baha.
He's on 2.26.
So Azam Tolabayev and Roxy Baha clears now for every rider to come are absolutely critical. The top 4 and now also with Korea so close behind the Philippines, the top 5 teams all relying on their final rider to try and keep them in the hunt, to try and keep them close in touch going into day 2. And it's going to get a little bit more difficult tomorrow, no doubt about it. Azam showed a great turn of speed yesterday to be 3rd in that class and be therefore 3rd in the individual championship on that good score of 2.26. And continues to show a turn of pace today in the first round of Nations Cup. That gongs, it's really just started to go. It's Azam Tolabayev on 4-4. Again, another one who's just going to come behind. Taizo Sugatani is safely out in front as championship leader now on 2.01 championship score. He's here as an individual. He's just cruising through these team jumping days, looking forward to Sunday and getting to Sunday on the lowest possible score. But it's 8 faults for Azam today. So Azam, 10.26 now is Azam's score after 2 days of jumping. We also put the 8 faults into the calculation for Uzbekistan, and we find that they are on 28.98 as a team, with 8 faults each from Sedamerkon Turgenbov and Azam Tobiev, and 1 fault for Gerot Nazarov.
There's a chance where we representing next to represent Hong Kong, China. Such a lot of experience riding at the very highest level, and of course representing his country on a number of occasions. Another one that's well in contention individually, Team Hong Kong not far out either. This is Tyson AZ on a score of 2.68.
Final team rider for Hong Kong. A clear for Kenneth Chang, and Tyson AZ will secure Hong Kong's position in gold medal spot overnight. But they don't really have anything in hand. They have a pole over Q8. 23.36 is Q8 score, 18.55 is Hong Kong's score. So Kenneth just keeping a decent pace. It's, you know, we've seen pace here, but this is a very good pace just to come down to these meter 40 jumps and try and be really sure of your spot, your position, your shape of jump over each of them, and of course your line, your related distance, like that 4 strides there, the 5 strides coming up between this vertical and the triple combination. Yeah, just keeping an eye on that 50 seconds coming out of the triple, so 35 seconds to get home. So Kenneth Cheng and Tyson AZ deliver the clear that they needed. They stay on 2.68, and that is going to put them in a very good position. They're not going to be far behind Taizo Sugatani's leading championship score of 2.01. And also for Hong Kong, it is a championship score of 18.55 after day 1. Hong Kong will finish the day in gold medal position. One more day of jumping before we decide the team medals tomorrow.
On that score of 2.68.
There.
We do have the provisional score for the Hong Kong team, and it means they move into a gold medal position today. Hong Kong, China now sits at 18.55 and moves up into gold. 3 minutes. We go to the whole nation now. For Thailand, to the head of the star on a score of 39.56.
Oh, a refusal at the first here for the Thai team rider Elissa Velsa and Stepeta Keystar. 39.56 championship score for Elissa. Comes around for the second and final time of asking here. Problems yesterday for Elissa Velsa, and it is a second disobedience again today. And unfortunately, that is elimination for them.
Just not how day becomes right. A couple of stops at the first, and as per international show jumping rules, that means it is.
So that means that Thailand will finish the first day of Nations Cup competition on 88.65 as a team, and unfortunately, elimination for Elissa Velsa and Stepeta Keystar.
One for Korea, one for Bahrain. This is Boston Kim next. Fifth long lead. Lemonade final stop represents Korea on a score of 19.28.
One more team rider, one more individual rider to conclude this day of competition, but the day isn't over. We've got at 3 o'clock this afternoon, we have our show jumping finale to the eventing competition at these Asian Championships. Here's Boseong Kim with Ypsilon B. Championship score of 19.28 for Boseong. So Korea on 40.68, comfortably in front of Thailand, and in an easy 5th position over the Philippines. The Philippines 37.15 just in front for 4th, and 5th, for, as I say, for the Republic of Korea. Oh, it was very, very sticky coming out of the double. They'll clear the decorated columns, coming up to this related line up the arena. In over the temple decorations. As short, that comes up short for them. Boseong Kim takes the front rail off the elephants. So on 4 faults which goes on to the Republic of Korea's team score as well. So clear through the triple combination line, just carrying 4 at the moment. So over the triple bar, 2 more to go for Boseong Kim. The time looks absolutely fine, but yeah, just looked a little bit free coming down to that vertical. Is he going to have the last as well? No, it stays up, but it is 8 faults for Boseong. So 48.68 is the Korean team score, still in 5th position.
Just one combination left to go.
A championship score for Boseong in his own right of 27.28. That is just unreal how that horse managed to just think quick enough to get out of trouble there in that 2-stride double.
So we know our team positions are confirmed because our lasting stands as an individual here. But certainly in contention for medals as he stands on 7.12.
Saeed Adnan and Al-Alawi and Balu Yu are next to go. 7.12 for Saeed for Bahrain, individual rider for Bahrain. See how that championship score of 7 is going to end up overnight if Saeed Adnan can end up on a clear round today. Here at the championships as an individual, unfortunately just takes the front rail off the first with him. So Saeed Adnan Al-Alawi for Bahrain, just picking up that second pole, taking front and back rail off the elephants up at the end of that related line. Clear through the triple, coming around now, just shapes his turn around the decorated columns fence onto the gongs. Doesn't make the hard shift left that a lot of people were doing, just does still come on a very nice line though to the open water. 3 fences to go for the final rider today. Day 2 of 4 of the championships. Saeed Adnan Al-Alawi and Balu Yu, 8 for jumping, 2 for time, so 10 to add. And we'll see them on a championship score now of 17.12.
Well, congratulations to all our athletes. We saw some top international sport here this morning. We know that our team positions have been provisionally confirmed. Again, this will need ratification from our ground jury, but it's looking like Hong Kong move up into the goal.
So a tough go there over the elephant fence for our last to go, Saeed Adnan Al-Alawi for Bahrain, and that concludes this competition day in show jumping. As I say, we've got the show jumping finale for eventing still to come today. But we know that Taizo Sugitani of Hong Kong, Taizo who was second overnight, Taizo Sugitani on 2.01 is now the individual championship leader. We saw clears today for Ella Wang, for Rayan Uleng of Hong Kong, and a clear also for Kenneth Cheng of Hong Kong, which will help their individual championship efforts. In terms of the nations, Hong Kong are our leaders. Hong Kong on 18.55. They are our best team overnight. Our second best team is the team of Kuwait on 23.36. Then it's 28.98 for Uzbekistan in bronze medal position going into the final day of team jumping. Then it's the Philippines on 37.15 for their 3-member strong team. Korea are on 48.6 penalties as a team after the first day of team. Thailand on 88.65 lies 6th of 6. So to talk to our individual leader, Taizo Sugitani, we go down to Bobby Haler.
I am here with Taizo Sugitani. So, Taizo, you've had 2 days of great jumping now. How are you going to take that forward into the next round?
Well, my mare is in super form. This is only second day. This championship is very long, so I had to go day by day, and hopefully I keep going like this till the end.
And how important is this championships?
It's almost a dream come true for us Asians, because we never had this championship, and it's such a great facility here, and honored to be here.
Well, thank you very much, Taizo, and good luck for the rest of the competition. Now back to you, John, in the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Yes, well, that concludes day 1 of team jumping here from Pattaya and the FEI Asian Championships for 2019. We hope you'll come back and join us later on for the show jumping finale to the eventing, one of 3 disciplines coming together here. And of course, team jumping concluding tomorrow, individual jumping with its 2-round finale on Sunday. So much action still to come from these FEI Asian Championships. But for the moment, from all of us here in Pattaya and me, John Kyle, thank you for joining us, and bye-bye for now.